This business is like the Wild West. Gold, silver, rare coins, lost treasures of history. You never know what's gonna walk through that door. Okay, so you got 130 bucks here. Watch this. I'm Evan Kale, and this is Pawn Man. My God, I thought he was dead. How you doing? All right, what do we got today? Okay, so let's see what we have today. Okay, I got a photo of a miserable looking young person. A mirror. Dirty mirror. Easter eggs, one of which is broken. You just missed Easter. And I'm a Jew. Thermostat. Looks like it survived a fire.
I'm not looking for a whole lot of money for this.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a whole lot of money for this. This is
Yeah. Do the best you can, boss man. Do the best you can.
There we go. How's that for a look? Some more spectacles. Oh boy. Another pair. Okay, I actually can't see. A electric knife. Fish. This looks like something my mom has actually. A zipper clutch. Buffalo calf skin checkbook. It smells like 1980. A pair of sunglasses, more cooking equipment, and the Millennium Collection, 1999, 2000, and 2001 of little like Jesus figurines. Okay. I hate to say it, I actually don't want to buy any of this stuff.
Oh, dude.
Because this is just junk. This is like worth like $5 on eBay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to buy any of this stuff. So, if you want $1, that's where I'm at.
You can do a little bit better than this, right?
I really can't because I'm not a charity.
I know it.
Yeah, no, I just I can't assess any value to this stuff.
You would give me a $20 bill?
I will not give you a $20 bill. Sorry. Oh, I'm going to hell. But all the fun people are there anyway. Like Princess Diana. And Mother Teresa. Well, I haven't seen him in a while, and boy, that was interesting. I think that's the first deal I have failed to close with him, but you guys saw it, that was crap, and I've warned him so many times, don't bring me actual crap, I am not a dumpster. Calm dumpster, yes, but not a dumpster. Yeah, we failed to close a deal there, and we'll see if we see him again. I'm surprised he's back. I really thought that he picked up that I was making a novelty on him, so, well, always good content. We'll see if he comes back tomorrow. So in line with my trafficking of all things controversial, I asked myself a question this week. Did ISIS have their own currency? Because they were kind of forming a government, and it would make sense that they would have a currency. I mean, the Confederacy had a currency, as we talked about last week. They formed that just before the war, just as a step to set up a legitimate government. You can't have a government without currency. So the answer, surprisingly, is yes, they did. They had gold, silver, and copper dinars. In mid-2014, the Iraqi National Intelligence Service obtained information that suggested ISIS had over $2 billion in their coffers, making them the richest jihadi group on the planet. And if you remember, back to 2014, they were conquering territory like crazy. ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi ordered the creation of ISIS currency, and you were paid either gold, silver, or copper, these coins based on, however much power you had in the organization. If you were high up, you were getting gold coins. They were made from 21 karat gold. They weighed 4.25 grams. And what I wonder, because you guys remember, they would capture these ancient sites and they would go into these like tombs, that have been sealed forever of ancient kings and warlords, and they'd find all these ancient artifacts like made from gold, and they'd either hawk them, sell them to collectors, or they would probably melt them down. And I bet this is how they got a lot of their gold for the coins that they made, which is just a tragedy. Another piece of research I found interesting, because what I do is I tell my researchers, I look up a topic, give me the points on it, and so this is what they gave me. Coins weren't traded that often in the Islamic State. A more transactional device was sexual favors. Prostitutes, wives, sexual favors were traded more than currency in the Islamic State, which I'm sure is exactly what the prophet had in mind. As we all know, ISIS got bombed to hell, so they kind of fell apart. They're not nearly as powerful as they were. Like 2017 was the year the hammer came down on them. The coins are kind of superfluous now. I mean, because the organization and the territory they had basically collapsed, so too did the demand for their coins. They're you know, silly coins, especially the copper ones. So I tried to look up to see if I could get one of these, and no, is the short answer. I tapped a few sources and they all told me it was a bad idea. So apparently now ISIS still sells these coins as novelty items. They do this to pay for their terrorism war. And I just can't help but be reminded of the Minerva dollar story, how it's, well, I mean, he wasn't doing terrorism, but same thing. He started minting his own coins to pay for his scummy operation. That's what ISIS does. I got some ancient Japanese treasures coming in here. I'm probably not gonna buy them because I can't afford them and I can't verify an actual price on them, but I do want to show them to you guys because they're pretty cool.
That's Fox Priest, and this is a rat.
Fox Priest and rat, and these are Natsuki pieces, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, they're related somehow to samurai.
They're hand carved. Yeah, major Japanese, I'm not familiar with these, but this is really cool. So your thought was 1,000 to 5,000 each on these, potentially?
These are between 1,000 and 2,000 each, possibly.
When were they made?
Don't know. I'd have to.
I only wonder.
I just pulled them from the estate sale.
Because that stands out to me as being weird. So when did this guy start making these? Do you know?
I don't know.
Or like when he got famous?
I just started working on the estate sale about a week ago, and these are one of his prized treasures.
Oh, that's cool.
That is.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of all over the place here.
Yeah, they're literally all over the place. If you look at sold prices on Natsuki, they are some that go over, that have sold for over 1,000.
So 2,100.
Is that the Fox Priest at the top? Yeah.
It still looks similar. It's
it's not the same.
Same craftsmanship and design though. Same quality. Maybe they're 1,000 each. I sure wouldn't pay it because I just don't know what I'm doing.
Now these are actually, I didn't see any of this quality on eBay anywhere that has.
It does look like very high quality.
Yeah, I mean, look on the inside. It's
like almost
very.
Touch it.
It's yeah.
Did you want to sell me anything here?
I wanted to give you this book. That's yours as a thank you for looking at the stuff. Normally in the past, I just bring stuff in and whatever you offer me, I just say, oh yeah, that's fine, because I find it at the Goodwill, and I literally don't care because I pay next to nothing for the stuff. But because I'm dealing with an estate sale,
right?
It's. I just wanted to bring this in and show you, especially because I know
certainly appreciate that because they'll like to see it.
Because you have a background in Japanese and you know a lot about. And so I thought,
it's beautiful.
So keep the book. Thank you for looking at this today. And I will probably return after the estate sale, which is May 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay.
And let you know.
Okay. So today is May 4th, which is Star Wars Day. And I just bought a bunch of silver bullion. I brought this so that I can be Emperor Palpatine. Something, dark side, something complete. I just spent like $6,000-ish on silver. Well, part of it was I was expecting somebody to come in yesterday, and they didn't. They came in today when I had ordered 100 ounces from somebody else, so suddenly I just ended up with a ton of bullion. All right, so let's make this TikTok. And then we'll talk just a little bit about Star Wars. Probably next May 4th, we're gonna talk about Star Wars in detail, the collectability, all that, in an episode a year from now. I poorly planned this. I should have done that for this week, but I, alas, did not. We'll talk a little bit about Star Wars in a moment here.
A few moments later.
Let's quickly talk about the blunder that was the Star Wars toys. So the licensing to the Star Wars toys, it was offered a year before the movie came out. The movie came out May 25th, 1977, but they were offering the rights in 1996. And the Mego Corporation was #1 for action toys in America. And they were offered the rights first, and they turned it down. In fact, everybody turned it down. Kenner, a division out of General Mills Fun Group, a smaller division, they were the ones who said, okay, let's fuck with this. And my God, what a genius decision for them. This is one of the biggest financial blunders in history. Mego Corporation turning down the rights to the Star Wars toys. The toys have made more money than the movies. The toys have made like twice as much money From the information I found, the toys to date have grossed over $14 billion. The movies have grossed $7. The toys were so successful so immediately that they helped fund the next 2 movies. So toys, back in the day, they were very hard to make. I mean, they're still not easy to make. Computers have helped the process quite a bit. But to make a toy, you couldn't just crap one out. You had to have designs, you had to go through all kinds of tests beforehand, you had to have molds, all kinds of things could go wrong. It was very hard to mass produce a toy. So they started out with just 4 Star Wars toys. 4 became 12. By 1978, a year after the movie premiered, had become a line of 20. And Kenner couldn't keep up with it. It was so lucrative, but it was like, it's like when I do some of my silver sales and I'm here until like 10 o'clock at night because it's like, holy shit, I opened up the floodgates. They couldn't keep up with the demand. The toys were flying off the shelves. They were making buku bucks. In fact, original Jawa toys, the clothes were cut up from brown socks because they were just like, God, get it out. But today, those original Kenner toys, those are the collectible ones. Depending on what you have, if you have one brand new in the box, a certain figure, I haven't done the research to tell you which ones are which, but they can go for like hundreds of dollars. And to date, as we all know, Star Wars is still a powerhouse. It is the 5th largest franchise in history, behind Pokemon, Hello Kitty, Mickey Mouse and Friends, and Winnie the Pooh. But like I said, the toys, they made so much money. They helped fund the movies. It's one of the reasons why Star Wars became such a financial powerhouse, was the toys. And now that Disney owns it, kind of seems like a buy, and it kind of beckons the question, why would they sell the rights when they were still making plenty of money? Potentially it was because all the people involved high up at Star Wars, including George Lucas, were just incapable of reimagining how to carry it forward. And, Disney offered them a lot of money. Or maybe Skywalker just wanted to be done with it and just get paid and walk away. Star Wars, as we all know now, has become one hell of a franchise, one of the biggest in the world. Still collectible, people are still seeing the movies. They have silver bullion. I have some for sale right now, limited edition silver bullion, and it sells really well. It's one of my top sellers for premium bullion. Most of it's coming out of New Zealand, and they do really low mintages. Max 10,000, low end, I think I got 2 that there's a mintage of only 2,000 pieces of each. That's very small. To be honest, I like the original 3, and I like episode 2 and 3. And I like episode 2 and 3 because my dad pulled me out of school to go see them. And I liked it. I had a great time. My dad showing up in his Rolls Royce and walking into the school and saying, we have a family affair. This was a thing that he would do. He'd take me out of school to go see movies sometimes. So like he pulled me out to go see the Star Wars movies. Like I said, we will cover Star Wars next year in extreme detail. I will go over all the collectability. I'm just skimming the surface here. I had to do something. So may the 4th be with you. So I got this thing here. This was sent to me in a remote deal. So this thing isn't stamped, and it's got quite a bit of weight. It weighs 14 grams. The diamonds are real, but like I said, it's not stamped. It's passing my acid test, but I don't have an x-ray gun, and I don't want to file this because I will resell this. I will not melt this down. This is a cool piece. I can get way above spot on this. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't have an x-ray gun, and I don't want to make a mistake on this, because this is like, I'm willing to offer like $800 on this thing. I'm gonna take this to another jeweler who will be able to tell me for sure, because even if it is 14 karat, there could just be wire like running through it, and that could seriously throw off the weight, and that would negate all my profits and then some. So I need to be sure, so we're gonna go take a little field trip. All right, enough diddling. We'll stick with dillying. To the Pondmobile! Oh, I need to get this car cleaned. It's like fucking reeks of cigars. There's like ash all over my floor. I've been Tony Sopranoing it a lot, smoking cigars. I'm not gonna smoke one right now, but let's get started and run some errands. All right, here we are. I'm not gonna bring my camera in because it's probably not cool with that. Also, I'm not wearing my sweater, or I'm not wearing my like track jacket, and I'm wearing my 45 today, so I'm not gonna bring this in. I'll leave this in the car locked up. All right, well, it is real. So I got an offer for $1,000 from him, and I'm buying it for $800. So I just need to reach out now to the person, close the sale, and that's that. 200 bucks. You know what really fries me though? His, shall we say, some of his paperwork is not up to date, and like we talked about the Commerce Department and how they're always bothering me about something. He's like, I've literally never heard from him. And I hear this from other dealers. They tell me that like, oh, well, they don't bother us. The joys of being high profile. Now I'm going to grab lunch because my jewelry girl isn't here. She called in sick yesterday and she brings us food. She brings like a ridiculous amount of food. It's saving a ton of money. So because she wasn't in yesterday, now we don't have food, so I'm picking up something cheap. We're getting noodles. This has happened twice. I recently set up my Google Pay. Let's just put it this way. I did it late at night and I wasn't using my head. So I set it up under Pawn Man and I've gone to restaurants now a few times and ordered for Evan. We don't have an order for Evan. What do you have an order for? We got one for Steve, we got one for Charlie, and we got one for Pawn Man. Oh, look, I'm wearing this. That's me. I should probably fix that. But now we're going to go enjoy some noodles. Yeah, I should be Noodles' new spokesperson. You think they'd like that? I'm the Pawn Man, and I like to eat noodles. Noodles and Company. Now they serve sandwiches too. Okay, let's go. I have things to do. I have diabetes. The Kenwood Retirement Community. Independent and assisted living. It doesn't matter if you have diabetes. Drink to your heart's content. Your kids want you to die so that you can leave them all your crap and they can sell it to the Pawn Man.
This, you know, I think this is, they're so wrecked that they're probably not worth much.
Oof.
I know.
Oof.
I know.
Oh, it's from 1929.
Well, that in and of itself, you know, that's kind of cool, I think, but...
Look at that. You could get a Whippet for a sedan for just $243.
Yeah, that kind of thing. That's kind of cool.
Or you get a Whippet 6 for $295. This low-priced car has everyday modern feature for driving safety and dependable performance. And no seatbelts.
All right, so this you've got to at least pay me something. I mean, you're going to be so excited when you see what this is. Maybe.
It's better be Mussolini's gun.
No.
1982 Dust Diary.
No, yeah.
Not quite Mussolini's gun.
But see the cover, I mean, it's embossed. It's brand new.
Are you pulling my leg or?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, what, I'm gonna give you like $1 for it.
All right, write it down.
All right, you got $1.
All right, make a list.
So, we got some gold nuggets here, and I don't,
Well, you got a little scale.
I'm gonna put acid on first. So this is 22 karat acid. I'm gonna just, dip. Literally, that's all I gotta do is just dunk them and wait for something to happen. Yeah, it looks like this is good. You know what you want on these? They weigh 6 grams.
No.
$300.
Sure.
I bought some gold nuggets from him. I paid him about 100 under because I can't test the nuggets. I think they're good. I think so. I'll do really well on that. But like, you know, when I get nuggets, I don't have an X-ray gun here, so I'm very bullish. They were 6 grams, so they melt at 372, and I paid him 300 flat. I don't know if I'll get full melt. This, you guys, let's take a look at this. This is a watch head, a Rolex watch head I just received in a remote deal. As you guys all know, I didn't quite finish my apprenticeship with the old man because drama, but I did learn a lot. However, watches remain one of my weakest areas. Watches and diamonds. So with a watch like this, I did have to call an expert because I looked at it, I didn't think it was real, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I did call help, and well, this is what the help told me. This watch head, not real. There's a few dead giveaways. Number one, this part here feels cheap. It feels way too cheap. It sounds cheap. Number two, you guys see the finish right here? This part right here, you guys see how like shoddily that finish has been done? Just, it's like, you got these like nasty lines. A Rolex watch is like a Rolls Royce. It's engineering beauty. They don't make mistakes like that. And this just looks shoddy. On top of that, it's like been underwater or something. It's just corroded and gross. The hands here, they don't all perfectly line up. This is a little bit high. The date is a little bit off center. Turning it over, the back is all wrong. The crown is weak. Got like I can't really describe it. It's got like a weird like wiggle to it that I can't, it's, a Rolex wouldn't do that. So just through and through, there are too many clues that tell me that this is not real. However, I did get to make content out of it, which is good. I get to educate you guys and show you what a, you guys said it's not even a good fake, it's a bad fake. And that's the joy of this page and my persona, is I am learning this business step by step, slowly. I've only been doing this for about 3 years. Watches remain one of my weaker areas, but every time I get a good fake like this, it's a wonderful learning device, and that's why I'm really glad, even though I'm not making any money off of this, I'm actually losing money, and so is my customer. because he had to mail it to me and now I'm gonna mail it back. Everyone's winning as far as I'm concerned. I got to make the content and I got to learn. And so did you guys. This is perfect. Right as I was looking at my showcase here thinking, I kind of want some more weird bad currency to walk in. One walked in, I wasn't filming it, but we'll make use of the Vivint. This is a Japanese government note. This is what is known as a banana note, and the series makes it so that I didn't overpay, because otherwise this would only be worth about $5. But the series, the ML, they're not dated, but the ML series accounts for just 6% of the total population. Too bad I don't have one of these. But it's a nice talking piece. It's, like I said, Japanese government, so it's gonna go perfectly in my terrible showcase, and I can make a TikTok about it. All right, guys, for this episode, we are talking all about the Great Gold Confiscation of 1933, a presidential order. So after the Great Depression, people were hoarding bullion. There were gold coins that were produced by the US government and silver coins as well, but people weren't spending them. They were just keeping them and saving them. And as we've talked about again and again on this show, when you have bullion hoarding going on in an economy, it can cause serious damage, especially when you're using those coins as commerce devices. Like the average person had I don't know about a $20 gold coin, but the average person like had used gold coins in their life or was using them here and there because the face value was more than the value of the gold back then. So in April 1933, under the authority of the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917, created as a result of World War I in dealing with Germany, as well as the Emergency Banking Act of 1933, Franklin Roosevelt outlawed the hoarding of gold coins. This included certificates. You could not have like a $20 redeemable in gold $20 bill, goldback as they were known. So what Franklin Roosevelt did was he put in place an order that everybody had to turn in their gold. You could not own more than 5 ounces of gold today that has a value of about $10,000, a very small amount for somebody investing in bullion. This also included coins of special value to collectors. Now, what exactly that entailed, I mean, I guess it depends how good of a lawyer do you have or how hard you want to fight the government. So on May 1st, 1933, you were required to turn in your gold. The government set a fixed price per ounce, and that price was $20.67. Adjusted for inflation today, that number would be about $460, which, as we know, the value of gold is a lot higher than that. It's about 5 times higher. Now, what does that mean? I don't want to get too much into it. That just goes to show you why gold is a good investment, because the dollar amount versus the value of the gold has significantly changed over time. Way better than inflation. Your money's safer there in the gold than it would be just in cash fiat form, riding the wave of inflation. This executive order, it came with some pretty stiff penalties. Now, nobody got prosecuted for it, as far as I could find, but it did come with a $10,000 fine and up to 10 years in prison, or both. Part of why nobody got prosecuted, this is interesting, the Treasury Secretary didn't sign the order, the president did. And to make it more, to give it more teeth, the Treasury Secretary would have had to have signed it. So it was like a symbolic law that it seems like they didn't prosecute anyone for. Like, everybody just kind of followed the rules, it seems like, or they just fucking hit the gold and they said, fuck it. If I had a nickel for every time that I would hear somebody bought an old property and they rip up the floorboards and they find gold or silver just stashed in the floorboards, I'd have a couple nickels. I've heard of this a few times. Now, they weren't going, after this law was in effect, they weren't going door to door looking for it. There is a rumor that the IRS was going into bank vaults and opening them up and taking out that never happened. Literally never happened. They never seized it in the way that the word seizing is describing. It was more, we have a new law, turn in your gold, don't fuck with it, or you get a big fine and or go to prison. So the seizure of gold was upheld by 4 members of the Supreme Court. They were known as the Four Horsemen. This was a name given to them by the media, and they were demonized because it seemed like they were causing problems for the New Deal. I mean, this is done because of the New Deal. They need a way to fund it. It's a massively expensive project. So what better way to fund it than just take everyone's gold, set a cheap price per ounce, and force everyone to turn it in. So this act, for a year, it was a little bit loose. It was codified into Congress a year later in 1934 with the Gold Reserve Act of 1934. So now this is not just a presidential order. I mean, now it's a law. You can't own gold more than 5 ounces anyway. Now, like I said, the IRS was not going into bank vaults, raiding them, looking for gold. What did happen was a lot of banks went belly up because of the Great Depression, and then the Treasury Department seized what was in the boxes. So they went through then and they took gold then, but they weren't going meticulously looking for people hiding gold. A lot of these boxes that were seized by the Treasury Department from failed banks, most of them went unclaimed for like 50 years. It's not like they just dumped out the boxes and carted it off into the government's hoard. No, they They made an effort to return shit to people. So you might be thinking, well, how did people allow this? Why would anyone tolerate this? Why didn't they march on Washington? Or why didn't people protest more, put up more of a fight? The average person couldn't afford gold in the 1930s. Most people couldn't afford bread in the 1930s. We're right out of the Great Depression. The average Joe doesn't have any gold. I mean, sure, the average Joe may have spent it or owned some at one point in their life, because, well, like I said, it was part of the coinage of the United States back then, but most people were broke. So it's almost like a rich people law that doesn't affect most people. When this went through, the average Joe just didn't care. One very interesting thing did happen as a direct, or I guess indirect result of this 1933 order, and that was it created the rarest coin of all time, or just about. The 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle. One of them sold in 2021 for $18.9 million. Now, this isn't a coin you can just easily sell. I haven't fact-checked this, so I am just kind of repeating what I heard from my dad, but he told me that the government will step in and take it if you have one because they ordered them destroyed. This belongs to them. Kind of like, I think it's a $10,000 bill. There's like some other like weird errors that have come out of the mint and they have been ordered destroyed. So kind of wrapping up the history here, in 1974, President Gerald Ford repealed the act. And now today, I mean, you can have as much gold as you want. A guy like me, like if the president signed a new order that said that this had to go into effect again, a guy like me would immediately put me out of business. Now here's why we're covering this, and here's what I really want to talk about, because I get this question all the time. Where do I store my gold? And what happens if there's another confiscation? Where's a safe place to store it to hide it? What should I do with it? And what do I do if this happens again? The fact is, you guys, this will never happen again. I don't think, and I would be willing to bet money that it won't. The reason being, if you put something like this into effect, you have a body count. This is not the same America as 1933. This would be like trying to seize people's guns. They will not go quietly into the night. They will not say, okay, here you go. No, people will fight to keep their gold. They don't trust the government. A lot of people that I do business with, people ask me like, why do you take checks? Because they don't have credit cards. They either pay cash or check. They are boomer ghosts. They try not to exist with a digital footprint. So they're afraid of stuff like this. The government, big government coming in and saying this, you can't have this, you can't have that, taking your wealth to make you poor. The only time that this would make sense is if this was a time of, if we do fall into World War III, which it kind of seems like we're walking right into it pretty quick. If the United States is involved in an active war, has declared war on, Russia, whatever, then at least the table's out for something like this to be set up. However, I just don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. On top of that, they didn't prosecute anyone back then, really. They're not gonna do it now. Can you imagine trying to lock somebody up just because they have some gold? That seems ridiculous to me. As for where you should store your gold, it is not recommended to store them in banks. If the bank fails, you can't get your gold back. However, it would take an extreme example of something going on, some kind of major world event to make anything like this extremity even close to reality. On top of that, you guys, they never banned silver. You could just convert all your gold to silver if it did happen again. Silver and gold are tied. As far as where you should store your gold, where is it safe? Keep it safe in your house. Let your insurance company know that you have it, because a lot of insurance companies won't cover bullion unless you specifically tell them. But just, keep it in your house, keep it safe, keep it on your floorboards, keep it in a bank vault. I have a bunch of stuff in a bank vault. So in conclusion, you guys, this is the 1933 gold confiscation, and I don't think it will ever happen again. You guys really don't have to worry about it. Even if things get really unstable with whatever happens with this war that's going on, I just don't see something like this being executed. I really don't. And that's the magic of the 1933 gold confiscation. I stick all my gold up my ass. It's nice and safe. And nobody will look. Alright guys, just like that, it is the end of the day and the end of the episode. If you guys like this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up. Become a Pawn Man Patreon. Every dollar I get goes toward improving the show. Get my books on Amazon. Follow me on social media, @EvanKale, @PawnMan. Post your questions in the comment section below, and I will see you guys back here for another episode of Pawn Man. Later, guys.